This is my first vlog. I thought I'd share a little bit about me and what my site's going to be about, what my channel's going to be about. It's pretty much going to be anything and everything goes. It's going to be from like inside, outside. Like right now you can tell that I'm inside the apartment. Just because it's a little about me right now. It's all about me. Yay! But I just thought I would share a little bit about myself since this is my first vlog. I'm not going to get too much into my own life, but whatever. It is what it is. But my channel is pretty much going to be anything from serious, what my opinions on anything. And it's also going to be some funny stuff. Going to try to be as funny as Bullzome is. Although nobody is as funny as he is. But right now, I figure I'll share what I've been doing the past week. Past week, I've been looking up my family history, at least on my mom's side of the family, which I've been finding some very interesting things. I've been able to go back to at least 1820. I've been able to go back to on my mom's side of the family. There is two brothers, from what I can understand, are living in New York, in Erie, New York, well, Erie County. Okay, Edwin marries a woman named Christina. And at one point, by, 1855, he has 3 children, living in a house in Erie County, New York. There's 2 girls, Levancy and Helen. And there's a boy, well, a son in the middle, named Marcus. Levancy in 1855 is 4 years old. Marcus is 2. And Helen is 8 months old. Now, from what I can figure out from looking at old census records of that time, and from looking up to 20 years later, in 1875, they're expecting, in 1855, they're expecting another child. Okay? So, therefore, by the time it's 1875, Edwin has passed away. And now there's 2 more other children. There's a Charles and a Laura. And Levancy and Helen have both grown up and moved out and gotten married. So it's Marcus, who turns out he's my great-great-grandfather. Okay, so love Marcus from what I could figure out from him. He's 21, 22 years old. Charles is 19-ish, and Laura is 15. And Edwin has passed away. So here's Christina's widow raising her children. Go fast forward another 5 years, Laura ends up getting married. Charles, from looking at another census, Laura's living with her husband, and Charles is living with them. Okay. But Marcus is still living at home, and his uncle, Edwin's brother, moves in with them. Now, from knowing my family, little I know about my family, my great-grandfather, which was Marcus's son, is born in 1882, around there. So from looking at the census records, I can gather that Marcus and his wife, Mary, aren't married yet, but they're probably going to be getting married within a few months after the census. That's why the uncle moves in. And at this time, Marcus is 27 years old in 1880. And he's the only child that's living in that home. Love him because it shows, from looking at the census, he loves his family. He loves his mother. He loves his father. Just so strong with his family beliefs. So when he ends up marrying Mary, my great-great-grandmother, and has a son, from what I can figure, his first child, his first son, he names him Edwin. after his father, which in turn, okay, he loved his family. He stayed on that farm. His older sister gets married. His younger sister, Helen, gets married. And then his brother Charles, when their youngest sister gets married, moves in with her. He's the only one left at 27 years old living with his mother. Now, from even with my own grandmother, who's still surviving, I thank her so much for helping me with the information she's given me, because she's the one that led me to Mark and Mary, which was her grandparents. And even from what she's told me, that's how her side of the family was. They were very strong on family. If a parent is to pass away, the oldest son stays as long as possible. And there's even a cousin in the family that father passed away early. The son never married, stayed on the farm with the mother, never married. And when she passed away, he had gotten the farm. This was some kind of cousin of my grandmother's. So it just goes to show that's how my family was. And even on my grandfather's side of the family, I've been able to go back to the 1864, where my great-great-grandfather was born, and his name was Frank. And then he had a son named Frank. And then in turn had my grandfather named Frank. And even my grandfather named his son Frank. So there's a long line of Franks in my family. And even then it shows that my great-grandfather named his children after his own siblings. Again, family was very strong on that side of the family. And if anybody else has looked up their family history and has an interesting family history of their own, share it in the comments. Because I've gotten really big on knowing what goes on with the family. Like, even back in the 1800s, it was a different time, but that family core has stayed in my family. So it would be kind of interesting to see how your family history has been passed on to this new generation. So leave your comments below. Let me know. And also leave in comments the family values that have been passed on. I would like to know what family traditions have been passed on. Anything that has to do with your family values that have been passed on from generation to generation. So leave your comments about anything that has to do with family values, family traditions, anything that has been passed on from your great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. How far have you been able to go back and researching your own family history? So share with me under the comments your own history, your own values, anything. This has been Mrs. Guides. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.